Hi everyone, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to do my ranking of the original 6 Star Wars movies. Um, I'm not including The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi or Rogue One because I'm saving those for a different time. This is just going to be the two uh, original trilogies, and it's not because I don't consider the Disney movies canon or anything, because I do like them a lot. I'm just waiting for episode 9 to do those. But you know, once there's more spin-off movies, I'll do a ranking with uh, uh, Rogue One and Solo and the other spin-offs that they're working on. Number 6 is Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. The movie is pretty good. The cast works for the most part, although I thought the dialogue and chemistry between Anakin and Padme, played by Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman, were terrible. But Ewan McGregor, he was good as Obi-Wan, and that's really probably the thing that saved the movie for me, and also getting to see Mace Windu with the lights fighting at the end of it, all the Jedi fighting, but especially Mace Windu. It was awesome. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson with the lightsaber had me sold right away. I thought the scene between Anakin, Count Dooku, and Obi-Wan was awesome. And at the end of it, Yoda comes in and totally makes you instantly forget them with his awesome fight scene between Count Dooku. I thought that was awesome, and I wish it would have lasted a little bit longer though. Number 5 is Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. I really like this one a lot. Thought it was a great way to end the Star Wars prequel trilogy. The cast was good. I thought that Hayden Christensen was a lot better as Anakin, although there were some really bad dialogue parts where he wasn't as good, but once he became Vader, I thought he was really good, and you could see the craziness, and I thought that was cool. I think that it could have been a little bit better, I guess, but it was good for what it was. Great for what it was. It had some awesome fight scenes. The Order 66 scene alone is worth making the movie worth watching. And I love the fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, and I do kind of wish that Mace Windu could have died fighting a little bit better than the way they ended it, but with him. But I thought it was still pretty cool. Number 4 is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. The movie came out when I was 7 years old, and I remember having all kinds of toys and books and all kinds of stuff. It wasn't my introduction to Star Wars, but it was one of the reasons I fell in love. It was one of the first Star Wars movies that I remember getting really hyped over and everything. I wanted so bad to go see it in theaters. I didn't get to until they re-released it in 3D a few years ago. But to me, it still holds up. I think it's because of nostalgia mainly, because like I said, it was a huge part of my childhood. That also, I felt that the cast was a lot better in this one than when Hayden Christensen took over Episode 2, and the CGI wasn't near as bad. There was a lot more sets, and practical effects in episode 1 than there was in the previous, in the in the other two. The uh, the I thought Qui-Gon Jinn was awesome. I remember as a kid he was like one of my favorite characters in Star Wars. I was really sad to see that he didn't get to be in any of the other prequels. I know Liam Neeson wanted to do it, but he was in like a motorcycle accident and couldn't come back, and I was really disappointed that we didn't get to see him return, at least as a Force Ghost or something. Number 3 is Return of the Jedi. I love the whole thing with Luke really struggling between the dark and the light. Mark Hamill does a great job playing him, and you can tell that he's really struggling between staying good or going bad at different parts. Even though he says that he's not, you can still tell that he is, and that's because of how great Mark Hamill plays him. I thought the Ewoks were pretty cool. I didn't like Jar Jar. Same with Jar Jar Binks. I thought the Ewoks and Jar Jar Binks were not near as annoying as everybody says they are. I mean, they were more there for the comic relief, and they don't really bother me. They were there's way worse characters out there and more annoying characters than them. And I thought the Return of the Jedi was a great way to end the trilogy, and if they hadn't ever made The Force Awakens, it was a great way to end the Star Wars saga as well. I'm not saying that it should have been the only way it ended, because I'm glad they've done other ones, but it would have been a good way if they never decided to make more. It would have been a good ending. Number 2 is Star Wars from the original. It's easily one of my top favorite movies of all time, and it's one of the reasons I love movies. I remember seeing it for the first time as a little kid, and I had to beg my grandpa to even let me watch it because he didn't think I would like it, because he thought I would be too young to understand it. I've been hooked on Star Wars ever since then. The characters were all instantly likable, and have become some of my favorite characters of all time. The story is great. It's timeless. The special effects still hold up today, and I just really like that one a lot. Number 1 is The Empire Strikes Back. Easily not only probably my favorite Star Wars movie, it's easily my favorite sequel of all time. Everything that made the first one great, they stepped it up. It had a lot of great emotions, and I thought it was a great way to introduce Yoda, and he was one of my favorite characters, and the twist at the end when you find out that Darth Vader is Luke's father, I thought that was awesome. I wish I would have been able to see it back when it was very first released, to see the audience's reaction. But even though I didn't get to see it then, I was still really shocked, because I had no idea what was going to happen, and except when I saw him for the first time as a kid, I didn't know anything about them. Um, these were some of the first movies I remember watching as a kid. And Empire Strikes Back is easily one of my favorite movies of all time. It's definitely in my top 5. Um, it's a great movie and easily probably the best sequel of all time. Pretty much every big movie series, they always say that it's their Empire Strikes Back, even though most of them don't even compare to it. But so that's my ranking of the first 6 movies. Sometime after episode 9 is released, I'll do a ranking that has all 9 of them. And like I said before, I'll do a ranking with the spin-off movies once there's more of them. But thank you to Dennis Helmut Zemo for recommending me to do this video, and please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.